Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is August 17th in 2026, and I'd like to talk about reincarnation. There are 144,000 different ways of thinking within each person that needs to be understood completely. This is why we're here. This is why we have physical bodies, so that we can experience on a conscious level. And so that we can understand ourselves, we need to be in these physical bodies in order to be using the conscious mind, because it is the conscious mind where all the decisions happen, except for when you come into the body and when you leave. That's made by the subconscious mind. But the subconscious mind is your partner. It gives you what you ask for, and it it answers your questions or shows you how to get answers to your questions. So it's necessary, and reincarnation is necessary because it's not possible for one person to learn this much in one lifetime, I don't think. So there are many, many lifetimes that each of us go through so that we can progress. A lifetime is like a grade in school. And at the beginning of lifetime, before we get into this physical body, we decide what we're going to learn in this lifetime. And then following through with it is the experiences that we have. So experience is the key. And each lifetime is like a grade in school. When we withdraw each lifetime from the physical body, withdraw our attention, then we go through an assimilation process to keep everything that we've learned this lifetime, and that is stored in the soul as we glean the understandings from each lifetime, then we start getting ready for a new one. And this repeats itself until such time as we won't need it anymore. So reincarnation is the now when I checked into this body this lifetime, I decided what I wanted to learn. And it took me a while to wake up to really understand what that was about. And a lot of people don't get to that. They don't ever wake up in a lifetime. And of course, this is a choice that happens each lifetime. The only time I see that a child probably is not pretty much asleep is if they have parents that are already sufficiently awake. That's another story. But this is and I know, well, for instance, I chose a family because I needed to rise above religion. In order to do that, I needed to be with a family where this experience of being in church was available to me. Not only available to me, it was kind of necessary as part of this family. And so I recognized by the time I was 11 years old that there were some inconsistencies in the church that I began to see. What I was hearing and what I was seeing became two different things. And so uh, it was, I went through a lot of discomfort there because it seemed everyone around me was thinking much differently than I was. So, um, and that kind of bothered me a little bit. Reincarnation is necessary for us to progress because, as I said before, one lifetime is not enough. There are many, many lifetimes because um, it's just necessary, like a grade in school. And we progress at our own rate. And that's why many folks this lifetime are putting, it appears, very little attention into their own forward motion, except in a physical sense, because uh, the physical sense or the physical only representation of what is being caught up in the physical existence because we created these physical bodies and we got caught up in what we created and got caught up in it. So we lost we separated from our real selves into the false self with the physical only representation, and unfortunately that's where a lot of people are, maybe most people on the planet are in that mental space to where they're, if you can't count it in money, it don't count. And so and I think that's why the Bible is talking about it's the love of money that's the root of all evil, because you're missing the point, because we're here to understand ourselves, and that means spirituality, not religion. Religion gives people an excuse to not be responsible at all. And I began to see this. It took me a long time. I got to School of Metaphysics when I was 42, and I did exactly what Jesus said to do, the way I found it. I asked, but I knew to ask within. But reincarnation is simply a part of the program. And if a person denies that or tries to insinuate that there's only one lifetime, and that's a foolish idea. I've got some idea where it might have come from, but it's sad. And religion is responsible for most of this misunderstanding and by promoting or passing around misinformation. So misinformation. No matter where you are progressing at your own rate. And that's by design, because it is our choice. In fact, Jesus said it very clearly, as a man thinks, so is he. Man is subconscious mind. Woe man is conscious mind. I won't go into that right here. But when this was being laid out in Genesis, they were not talking about a man and a woman. They were talking about the male and the aggressive and receptive parts of the self. It got misconstrued because if a person can't see above where they are, then they'll interpret everything as if it's physical only. And that's where the danger zone arises. So I've been able to rise above that, and I'm thankful for that. And I thank the School of Metaphysics for giving me a place to study these things. And I thank Jesus for showing me how to reach that by teaching me how to, the school taught me how to rely on the soul to find the answers. And I am doing that, and I've made a lot of progress doing that. And so I appreciate Jesus. I appreciate the School of Metaphysics. I appreciate everything that I've experienced up to this point. And whether I've enjoyed it or not, early on in the School of Metaphysics, I began to see that even the bad times are good because from our experiences, we learn something about ourselves. Something about ourselves. So I'm enjoying the process, even though today is a little rough because I've got a variety of things needing to take place, and the coming together is kind of frazzled. But that's the way it is. And so I just have to wade through today and deal with what is. So it's all about making adjustments in myself. Making adjustments. And that's why we need this lifetime after lifetime, is because there's a lot of adjusting that needs to be made. We maladjusted because of the sense of separation. And there is not a separation in reality. But we imagine there to be separation because religion has taught us that. And religion is promoted to be the thing that draws us closer to God, but it actually does the separating. And the separating is done because so the church can maintain a sense of control. And I won't go into that here, but if you examine that line of thinking, you will find your own way to understand that. But reincarnation is just quite simply necessary. Necessary. I'm going to cut this one a little bit short because and hopefully I've touched enough on reincarnations or if you have not considered it so far, then maybe this will be enough for you to consider it. And that's why I do these talks. And so a question may arise in your mind. And when you take this question seriously, then your own soul will guide you to find the answer. That's the way it works. But anyway, I wanted to just talk a little bit about reincarnation. Thank you for listening. I'm Winston Cunningham. Thank you.